too much, but I think it's probably best. It's probably okay if we find a shot and you kind of gently lock the camera there, and if you need to make an adjustment, you know, whenever I'm talking, go ahead and. Wow. Look at how much that monitor cuts off.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you can use it for. Use it for. I guess I should have done the daring thing and gone ahead and tried a light for the. The nice thing about Venetian blinds is that you can cut down on some of the amount of light. Of course, this is the kind. Okay. Before we start going, let me ask. It's Dennis Young. No problem with the spelling there. What's your exact title?
Senior Vice President and Treasurer,
Norwest
Financial, Inc.
And you're a Buena Vista College alum from 1965.
Right.
And on the board of. How long have you been serving on the board of trustees?
About the time Dr. Stevens announced his gift.
So that's, I don't know exactly when he announced it, in '82?
Somewhere back in the early 80s,
Yeah.
I told Keith if they would have put me on sooner, we might have gotten the gift sooner.
That was the key. Okay, let me just ask you kind of first off a general question, because you're someone who's seen the tremendous changes in the college. I mean, even in the mid-'60s, of course, there had been a period in which a lot of recent buildings have been built. There was, I think, some government federal dollars that
Dormitory, for example.
yeah, well, I think in the 10 years preceding 1965, we built Shaler Chapel, Dixon Honors, Pierce White, Logie, Ballou, all of those things. But even since that time, the campus has been literally kind of transformed. What do you think that means for Buena Vista College and means for its future?
I would call it almost a launching pad. It's the basis from which it projects itself into the next century. It transformed a ho-hum campus into a very modern, vibrant, and very attractive campus that looks like it's going someplace and instead of just left somewhere. Graduates who go back who haven't been there in 10 or 15 years are amazed. I think if you stood them up by the arch, they wouldn't be quite sure where they were.
It has been that big a kind of transformation. Myself, I mean, I joined the college the year that we dedicated the forum, the School of Business. So I don't really have much of a sense of what it was like before, except from what other people like you tell me and the pictures and things that I see. Yet, I can detect, I think, a change, mainly because some of the things we're wrestling with as a faculty. But 6 years ago, there was this real sense that the college had arrived, that it really had become something. Now, not that we no longer believe that, but I think this realization that's set in that in order to really become something great, it takes more than just $18 million, and that there are still some big challenges ahead, some tough decisions, building a lot of unity and sense of common purpose that we have yet to do. Do you sense that same kind of feeling at the level of trustees and alums, that it is a launching pad, but there's still a lot of work to be done?
Yes, we've come a long way. I guess to respond to the first part of your question, there's a sense of quality there today that I don't think there was there. It wasn't there in the past. It's a things look quality, they appear quality. They're taken care of. It's modern, and you have a sense of it. It's a place where you want to be. It has a vibrancy, and I think you have to have that kind of sense of that kind of quality, so you can continue to add to that or polish it or whatever it takes to, again, I guess I just come back to the launching pad. I think it's one of the things that had to be in place for a quality institution. There are places where you go when you're there. You know, corporation, when you walk into a headquarters, you have a sense that I think this corporation is going someplace. I hope you had that when you walked into our building today, even in spite of some of the renovation going on. I have that sense when I walk in to that forum, that there is something happening here, and there is more that's going to happen, and it's just waiting to happen. And there's a sense of urgency, I feel. You had noted that there's an atmosphere or a feeling or something about the campus. I sense it most when I talk to the people who are there, that work there. They're just there's just not enough time to accomplish what you want to get accomplished, and it's almost as though those people are rushing around like they're going to turn the lights out before we get done. And it's I guess just a sense of urgency that I really like being a part of, that we're going someplace. We've come a long way, and we've got a long way to go, but everyone is anxious, I guess, to get there. I don't know if that's the right way to describe it, but you touched on that. There is a sense, you've apparently picked that up from someplace else, but I love to go back. There's just a sense, but it isn't just the place. I feel it from the people, from the administration. As you know, Keith Briscoe beats into our heads all the time. At least to the trustees, we do more with fewer people than anyone else. And but I don't think our people just work harder because they've got more to do. I think they work harder with a dedication that there's a lot to do, but a lot that they want to do. They want to be a part of it.
That's certainly an.
Just, you know, there's a whole sense about her and wanting to accomplish that. You know, I don't see that same kind of spirit or get with it at other places. We back on again?
Yeah, we're back on. Well, you know, and that's one of the things we interviewed Keith a couple of days ago. And one of the things I think that Keith is...
How many different chairs did you have for Keith? Did he?
The same as the number of hats he wears. But one of the things that I think he's tremendously concerned about is that part of the liability in having that kind of spirit among all of the people in the community is that people get discouraged because they want more, they want to do more, they want to demand more, and there comes a point when you have to actually bring some of that down to reality. It's a good kind of problem to have, but that is one of the kind of the challenges that face us, is that everybody wants the world now. 15 years ago, no one would have thought like that.
Yeah.
But now everybody thinks like that. And of course, we don't have the resources to do everything, to be the whole world.
That's right.
And we've got to now decide what are those things that we're going to do really, really well, and what are the other things we're going to choose not to do. And that's hard after having spent a decade building this sense of sheer possibility that anything's possible.
Yeah. We spend a long period without, you know, just without wanting to do more, wanting to have better facilities, wanting to be able to pay our faculty more, wanting to bring the extras, the value added to our students, and that's one area we've come a long way. We are, at least financially, we are better prepared to do that. Keith pushes faculty, but also challenges the student body. Returning from New York Tuesday evening, and here comes three young people, one of them wearing a Buena Vista sweatshirt, and we were quickly engaged in conversation and how excited they were about their visit to Washington, D.C. And for two of the people, it was the first trip ever to Washington, D.C., and it had been just such an exciting experience for them, and it just made me I guess, a real sense of pride that Buena Vista College had provided something to them that they might not have otherwise experienced. And I think we have lots of kids. I think Buena Vista College tries to challenge the young people to go beyond. They did when I was there. You asked me what my major, I went to major in business and walked out with one in history because a professor there, Bill Cumberland, challenged me in a certain way that I didn't end up going on getting that PhD he wanted, but it certainly did expand my horizon.
That is it's why I teach at Buena Vista College and not at the community college or University of Iowa or other places, because it's this feeling that my job is more than just teaching students the kind of discipline that I work in. That it's we're really trying to give students something very different and very powerful that affects their whole life, and it has to do, I think, with challenging them, with giving them helping them see the world in a much broader, be more aware of things, and aware of themselves within that, and what they can do, and kind of arming them to go out and conquer the world.
I watched is it the Student Senate, that in the Activities Board, Student Affairs Board, that determines how the money that's allocated and spent, and you'd have a hard time convincing those people that they weren't really running the place and determining where it went. And just the whole exercise that it put them through was, were semesters of education that they were getting, learning about people. And I think it's an exciting place. I think a lot of people go there for the lake and never put their foot in it the 4 years they're there, because there's so much other that starts to go on, that starts to happen, if they'll just open up and let it happen and respond to the challenges that are there.
Would you say that that's where Buena Vista College is going to kind of find its own niche, of excellence, of greatness, is in this providing a kind of very special kind of comprehensive education?
I hope it does. I hope that our students come out with more than just book learning per se, but will come out with some experiences that broaden them in other ways. Entrepreneurial experiences, for example. I'm sure Dr. Siebens would like to see every one of them come out with that entrepreneurial spirit.
How much do you, as trustees, talk about or discuss the mission of the college? Or maybe I should ask, how much of the sense of the college mission is present in your discussions, debates, activities, even though it may not be what you're specifically talking about?
I think whatever the subject matter we're talking about, it's all wrapped around wanting to be a quality institution, the best, doing the best, providing the best. Whether we're talking about budget and we have trade-offs, and whether the funding is going to be spent on the library or on technology or whatever, it's still talking about where, for example, would we put the dollars that would provide the most for our students. Buena Vista College has certainly not put all of its funding into the physical plant by any stretch. When we're talking about faculty salaries, for example, and wanting to be one of the best supporters of our faculty of any small college in the country, again, it's to provide the incentive to be able to attract and maintain the kind of faculty that will work to provide the kind of quality education for our students. So it's just in a lot of areas, that's really what bubbles to the top. And
What
And-
we're doing for and to and with
Yeah.
and by students.
Yes. I mean, and the greatest sense of pride I know I, as a trustee, take is just listening to the accomplishments, to the challenges that have been met, and to the successes of our young people. Whether it's happened on campus or it's something that's happened after they've left. There's always a great sense of pride that I guess we don't experience quite as much as our faculty and administration would, but can certainly know we had some small involvement in providing some direction or some help, or and occasionally funding.
One of the things that just it really shocked me when I first set foot on Buena Vista College, not knowing much about it, but when I first came to the campus, my impression or my sense was, before I came, you've got this small college. It's in northwest Iowa, within spitting distance of South Dakota. You know, what can happen out here? It's so small and isolated. There really can't be anything tremendously exciting going on in a place like that. And I was surprised when I came to campus and found out actually there was. What is your sense of that? I mean, how does Buena Vista College kind of overcome its isolation and its smallness and its seemingly trivial stature next to the other bigger things in the world, which is maybe not true, but...
Well, I can't think of any reason why great things can't happen in small places or isolated places. I mean, the Wright brothers didn't build the first plane at Nassau. I mean, it just wasn't there, and Thomas Edison wasn't in the largest lab in the world. So, you know, why can't it? Why can't it happen? I mean, imagine the possibilities. I've seen that written in several places. I guess why not? Why not? As long as we have a group of dedicated people, no matter where they are, why can't it happen in Storm Lake, Iowa?
What's it take to make it happen? I mean, $18 million is a start.
It takes excited, dedicated people, faculty, staff, and students. I think that's what it takes. I don't know that if we had another $18 million invested in physical structure, that I don't think it'd make an iota of difference if we didn't have the first ingredients. We would just have twice as many of something happening that wasn't going where we wanted it.
Well, and I think I think everybody would agree. I think that, at least for me, maybe the biggest challenge is that it also takes a shared vision of where you're going. Not that there isn't some disagreement within that there's always got to be some creative tensions, but that there is at least a kind of common sense within the community. And that, I think, maybe the real challenge that Harold Siebens gave us was to find that in ourselves, and that I think the college is maybe searching for that common vision of what exactly we're going to be defining for ourselves, how we're going to be great. That is part of that urgent work, I think, that you referred to earlier. Would you kind of agree with that analysis? I mean, I think people are dedicated and excited about the possibility, but now we're getting down to the building, getting everybody working together, getting all the hands in some kind of harmony, as opposed to a lot of disparate but frenetic activity.
Well, I have no doubt that the leadership of Buena Vista College, which has been excellent in past years and is certainly of the highest caliber today, will not leave everyone unchallenged in terms of what's going to happen tomorrow. I think Buena Vista wants to be one of the finest small colleges in the United States, and I think it's going to be. I think it It may be, and maybe some of us just haven't recognized it. But
let me ask another question, because you're someone who's just let it go.
Okay.
You're down here in Des Moines. You travel in a wider circle. What's the sense of other people outside, away from our campus at Buena Vista College?
some people have heard of it. Some people don't know what state it's in. But I think within the confines of the Midwest, its reputation is growing. Within the last 5 years, I would tell you that we're a company that employs 4,100 people across the United States, and there are a growing number that know that there are some fine young people at Buena Vista College, and we have tried to attract them, and in fact have done so. And I would say today there are between 15 and 20 young people from Buena Vista working in probably 8 or 9 different states. And the people who employed them are aware of them, and people who went to Buena Vista College campus to interview them are aware of them. And each in their setting is touching or educating or informing someone else. So I think that's one way an institution becomes known, is by its graduates. And at least within our institution, there are more and more of them out there. I hope someday there's another officer at Norwest Financial who's a Buena Vista graduate. I hope, say, one day there'll be a Buena Vista College graduate be president of this institution. It's certainly possible with the quality of the young people that we turn out of. I can say young people today at my my age, and I take a lot of pride in Buena Vista College. I don't regret my decision. I appreciated the opportunities I had there, and I sing its praises whenever I can, and I recruit students whenever I can. And it's, for me, serving on the Board of Trustees is